Hello and welcome to Wings of Eagles broadcast. I'm Don Steiner, and we're talking about the parables in the Bible, specifically the ones that talk about the kingdom of heaven. So these are kingdom of heaven parables. And we're outlining these parables because I believe it's very important for us to understand and know the kingdom of heaven and how it operates, what God thinks and how God perceives interaction between us and the kingdom of heaven. For those of us who are committed to the gospel of Jesus Christ and to walking with Him and giving our whole life to Him, whatever it costs, these parables are instrumental in molding and shaping our life, molding and shaping our future and what God's going to do through us and in us and with us in the near future. And so the parable that I want to talk about now is called the parable of the pearl, and it's found in Matthew 13, verse 45. It says this, "And again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant on the lookout for choice pearls. When he discovered a pearl of great value, he sold everything he owned and he bought it." So who is this merchant? Who's the merchant? He's on the lookout for great pearls. So the merchant is the kingdom of heaven. So this is like God saying, I am on the lookout for great pearls, for things that, for choice people in the kingdom of heaven. I'm on the lookout for the souls of men. And when I find them, I will sell everything I have. Now, what is it talking about? How does God sell everything He has? Well, He said in John 3:16, "For God so loved these pearls," these choice pearls, these beautiful people on the earth, that He gave His only begotten Son. So God gave that part of Him that He loved. He separated Himself and became man, submitted Himself to us. Jesus then gave His life for us in the search for what? For you and me, the apple of God's eye. This is what this is talking about. The merchant is the kingdom of heaven. You and I are the pearls. And then when God sees that the value in us, He gave everything that He had to obtain us. And that's the message of the gospel of Jesus Christ, the message of salvation, redemption. Jesus gave it all so that you and I could have a place in heaven. So you and I could have a part in heaven. This is very significant because this is why we walk with Jesus. This is why I do what I do. If Jesus would come to this earth, being God, leaving His throne of grace, come to this earth for me, then it's the least I can do to give my life back to Him. And so this parable about the pearl is really about God's love for us and how much He loves us, how much He's after us, and how much He's willing to give up for us. And then the next parable that we have is called the fishing net. And again, it's kind of like the parable of the pearl, but it's a kingdom principle. It said the kingdom of heaven is like a fishing net that was thrown into the water and caught fish of every kind. When the net was full, they dragged it to the shore and sat down and sorted good fish into crates, but threw bad fish away. That is the way it will be in the end of the world. The angels will come and separate the wicked people from the righteous, throwing the wicked into a fiery furnace where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And then He asks a question, do you understand these things? He's asking this to the religious leaders, the teachers of the law. He said, do you understand these things? So Jesus, what's He talking about here? So the net is the kingdom of heaven. So the net then is kind of like, I think, is like the church. So the church is the net. So the people come, they're gravitated to the church, they come and they go. But there's many people that are in this church that are part of this story. But yet when the net is drawn in, it's full of fish, but they don't keep all the fish. There's fish in the net that are not part of the kingdom of heaven. How can that be? I don't really understand. So you went fishing, you caught a bunch of fish. Well, if you net fished, have ever net fished, you know that there's a bunch of junk fish out there that's going to get caught in that net. They're going to drag them in. So, but Jesus is saying in this parable, so it is in the church. There are a bunch of people in the church that are not committed to Jesus Christ, that are not committed to the cause of the kingdom of heaven. And you want to say you are, you want to think you are, you want to try and believe you are, but the ways of the world are more important to you than the ways of the kingdom of heaven. And my friend, this parable tells us that in the end time, there's going to be a massive separation of those fish that are not acceptable in the kingdom of God because they didn't really walk with God while they were here. You didn't really live for Jesus. You just wanted to be associated with the church. And that's happening out there today. And so I'm speaking this message to you today specifically. If that's you, it's time to quit playing church. It's time to quit playing with your religion. Quit playing with God. Quit acting like you're a believer when you really aren't. When you really play the ways of the world, you live in sin, pornography, adultery, all kinds of stuff out there. You steal, you cheat, you have bad business deals, you take advantage of people, and yet you say you're in the kingdom of heaven. No, in the end, my friend, you'll be one of those fish that are removed from the net just before the harvest, just before entering into the kingdom of heaven. And God's very clear about that. This is why he tells parables like this fishing net that warn us that we can't play with God. He sees our intent. He sees our heart. He sees everything about us. And he himself will remove us if we don't walk in a way of integrity and righteousness and truth. Now, am I trying to say that we buy our way into the kingdom of heaven? No, not at all. I'm saying that the kingdom of heaven is free. It's a free gift. It's the treasure in the field. But what I am saying is that there is a price to pay, and that once you make a determination to walk with Jesus, there's something you must do to walk out that life with Christ, to walk out your salvation in fear and trembling and the fear of the Lord, loving God with all your heart, forsaking the ways of the world, giving up the things that are around you for the things of Jesus Christ, for the cause of Christ. Now, I know people that are very wealthy, that are very strong Christians. And I talked to my friend the other day he's got a very big business, and he does more than $1 billion a year in business. And yet he told me, Don, I hold everything with my hand open. God can take it anytime, any place. It's all his. None of it's mine. And I just walk with him. You see, money doesn't matter. God will let you have money. God will give you plenty of money. God will give you everything you need. But he doesn't want it to have you. And when it begins to have you is when that's the problem in life, is when it has you and you don't have control over it. And so God's asking us today, especially in this parable of the net, to not be those fish that in the end get thrown out and thrown away. And then the next parable I want to read is called the growing seed, and it's in Mark chapter 4, verse 26. The kingdom of God is like a farmer who scatters seed on the ground. Night and day while he's asleep or he's awake, the seed sprouts and grows. He doesn't understand how it happens. The earth produces the crop on its own. First a leaf, then the blade pushes through, and then the heads of wheat are formed, and finally the grain ripens. As soon as the grain is ready, the farmer comes and harvests it with a sickle, for the harvest time has come. So what does this mean? What is this parable? So this is talking about the kingdom of heaven again, and how the kingdom of heaven grows. It grows without us knowing. It's continually growing throughout the earth. I believe that the tentacles of the kingdom of heaven have reached around the entire earth. Matthew 24:14 says, "And this gospel shall be preached in all the world as a witness, and then the end will come." I said, well, God, how is that going to be possible? That there's somebody all over the earth. And God promised me, told me, he said, Don, I have people all over the earth, and the harvest is plentiful. Through this parable, as this parable says, is growing like a seed. It's growing all over the world. It's growing. The tentacles are reaching into the communist nations, the corrupt nations, corrupt governments. I believe the kingdom of heaven is growing rapidly. Things we can't even see it. We don't even know how it's growing. We don't even know why. But we trust and we believe that the kingdom of heaven is moving forward in a fast pace. And I believe, my friend, it is. And for those of us who are listening to videos like this, it's time for us to say, Jesus, I'm following you. I will not let this world control who I am. And so, my friend, with these videos on the kingdom of heaven, God is showing us how the kingdom of heaven works, how it works in our life, how it works in our heart, and how He moves in this earth, even without us knowing what He's doing, what's going on, or how it's happening. We just do our part by planting seed, watering seed, by just being salt and light, being the yeast that God allows to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ in a most amazing way. And then we trust, like this last parable, that the seed's going to grow no matter how we see it, no matter what we think. The devil is not going to win. I've said this most of my preaching Christian life. The devil doesn't win in the end. Right now, you can look at the world, you can say, well, it seems to me the devil's going to win. It seems to me there's going to be more people go to hell and just a few people left going to heaven. Listen, God owns this earth. He's not going to sneak in the back door and sneak out the back door, afraid of the devil, afraid of his own enemy. That's not going to happen, my friends. So we need to understand we're on the winning side. We're on the side that's going to have more people in the kingdom of heaven than go to hell. Hell was prepared for the devil and his angels, fallen angels who choose to follow him, and all other people who choose to follow the devil. And so, my friend, I believe that if you're on the winning side and I'm on the winning side, we're on the side of the kingdom of heaven, that we need to trust and we need to live and we need to walk like we trust that God's in control, that He's got everything under His feet. So, my friend, I hope you've enjoyed these parables on the kingdom of heaven. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. We will answer them for you. We will try and do the best we can. You can message me on Messenger through Facebook, or you can email us, however you want to contact us. We're happy to contact you. Know that we're praying for you. Know that we love you. So like and share this video, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. God bless you guys.